Hi, it's Jane with the Compassion Project, and I am here today with Taylar Swan. Welcome, Taylar.
I
I'm really excited she's here. This woman is one upbeat, positive, dynamic woman with a heart to help others. She is a wife, a mom, a soon-to-be author, and a soon-to-be podcast host, right?
yes,
So
yes.
that's exciting. Taylor lives in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada, where as an elite health coach and digestive specialist, she empowers people to take their health into their own hands by combining nutrition, fitness, mindset, and health coaching for a truly unique program. Today, we are going to talk about how to take control of your health by minimizing stress, and so you can get your life back. And just, we all want to be healthy. And I know when I heard you were digestive specialist, I thought, wow, so many people struggle with digestion.
Yes, they do. Yes, so
Yeah, and
many.
so I want to start with like your story, like what happened in your life that motivated you to take your own health into your hands and then got you helping others.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I had just come back from a vacation and I started, like within a few weeks, I started developing digestive issues and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I thought maybe it was something from traveling. So I went to the doctor.
How long ago was this, Taylar? How old are you?
Oh my gosh, this was in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a long time ago. And yeah, so it was like I was, it got worse and it got worse. And they said it wasn't, there was nothing. They checked, they did blood tests and all that stuff. Nothing happened. And it just progressively got worse to the point where it's like I would eat food and something would trigger. It would either be, I know this is embarrassing for most people, but it would either be diarrhea or it would be constipation or it would be vomiting. I would get hives everywhere. And I was like, what is going on? There's something going on here. So back to the doctor. Again, I got pushed away, said it was nothing. And I'm like, okay, obviously there's something going on here because this isn't normal. And it's definitely not normal for me. So we played the game with the doctors. You go in and you say again what's wrong for the millionth time, and finally they give you some additional tests to do. So I had to go to the hospital, swallow that liquid barium. Ugh. And yeah, I threw it up, and then she just said to me, she's like, "Okay, now you're gonna have to drink more." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is awful, right?" So
Yeah.
so we did the test up on the inside to see if there's any blockage going on. Nothing. Okay, so that's fine. More time passes. It's just getting worse, like progressively. And I'm like, okay, seriously. So I tried a different things. I went to go see like a specialist for the digestion, and they were like, "Oh yeah, here's some pills. There's nothing we can do for you. You're just gonna have to learn to live with it."
Oh
And
my goodness.
yeah, and at my point, my middle finger felt like it was going to come up 24/7 because I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, this is the advice a specialist gives you. You're just going to have to live with it and learn how to deal with it. And they called it, and at the time they said it was IBS. And I'm like, okay, so it was a joke for me over the years. It was like IBS is basically a terminology for I don't know what's wrong with you because it's just bullshit. Right? So it's like IBS. Okay, no, IBS has so many different meanings. If you look into it, it's crazy. But anyways, yeah. So I got sick. I got like super super sick, and then it went better for a bit. And then I moved over to the UK, and it was at one point where we were away from our vehicle. We were away, like we were kind of far out, and all of a sudden, my hands and my feet just started burning hot, and my body went white. Like I was like, I'm already white, but I mean, I was like ghost white, like you would see a dead body. And I was freaked out. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? And a woman came by that she was like, oh my God, dear. She's like, you look so sick. Do you want me to take you to the hospital? And I was like, oh my God, I look worse than this. So I said, no, can you just take me home, please? Right? So she's like, are you sure you don't want to go to the hospital? I'm like, no, because I felt like I was just going to release everything up here, down here, like everything. It was just felt like it was just going to go. And I got home not a moment too soon. And I remember I was sitting on the toilet while throwing up at the sink in the same toilet. And then I was so weak afterwards that I just couldn't, I couldn't function. So I was lying in bed and I was just shaking. And I was like, this is so not normal. And my allergies went right up the roof. I already had a few little things. I was allergic to bees, but then it became dogs, it became horses, it became everything, and I literally had to take an allergy pill every day just to function without breaking out in hives and stuff. So it just got progressively worse over the years, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, our digestive system is everything. Our health begins in the digestive system. So if you're not healthy, it affects everything. And I think about when children are born, their little bodies just work so good, most of the time. Everything is natural and right. And then as adults, things happen, and it shouldn't. Our digestive system should work healthy, which is good for our brain, everything. So what did you find that worked for you?
Well, when I came back to Canada, though, because I did a lot of research online, right? And before I was under the understanding, and this is what I really want viewers to take to heart and put this into action. If you know there's something wrong with your body and your doctor is not listening to you, fire him or her and go see somebody else and demand certain tests. Okay. At this point, you need to know kind of what you're doing. But I came back to Canada and I demanded certain tests. I'm like, do it now, or I'm going to go see somebody else, or I'm going to report you to the health board because you're not doing due diligence when I'm telling you there's something wrong, right?
But you know your body better than anyone.
Yes. So I got super aggressive because I was feeling sick, and at this point it was 2012, and I was still sick, right? And it was just so finally we did that, and we went through allergy testing. So I went and I got, my arms tested all the way up to here, and pretty much blew up from a lot of different things. And they said, oh, you're allergic to this, this, and this, and this, and gave me a sheet of paper with the allergies on there, and then sent me on my way. Okay, so when you don't know what to do, what do? Okay, you don't eat this stuff. They don't explain it to you. They don't help you out, right? So and then at one point they sent me to a registered dietitian, and that didn't help because I walked in the door and I saw that she looked really unhealthy, and as at that point I'm like, no, I'm sorry, you are what you preach, period, end of story. So I walked out and I'm like, I'm going to learn this on my own. And so I started eliminating certain foods, and I lost so much weight, and I actually felt like I was starving. I felt like I was starving all the time and at this time I didn't know anything about nutrition. I worked out and stuff, but I didn't know anything about nutrition other than your basics, right? We always think, okay, yeah, eating, salad, eggs, meat, fish, poultry, cheese and stuff is sometimes considered healthy, or tofu is considered, or soybeans or something like that is considered healthy, depending on who you ask and what you know. So I started doing those things, and I was always hungry. So I went back to my old ways, because I was starving all the time, and it's either starve and feel better kind of, or go back and gain a ton of weight, which is what. So I looked like crap for the longest time, and then I finally said, okay, something's got to give here. So I went to school. I thought, well, maybe it's fitness, right? So I went to school. I learned how to be a personal trainer, and hated it. I mean, I loved doing the workouts for myself and stuff, but that wasn't really solving the problem. So asking it because I gained weight. So I thought, okay, well, it's maybe that I need to get moving more instead of, other things, because I thought I was eating healthy. I really did. I wasn't eating chips, chocolate bars, cookies. I I was eating healthy foods, which most people go, oh, yeah, that's really healthy. I don't even eat that healthy, right?
Yeah.
So I was eating foods, and I was thinking, oh, they're healthy foods. It's got to be my fitness level. So I did that, and then I was like, no, something's got to give. So that's when I actually started to learn about nutrition. And the things that you were learning in the school is not always what happens in real life. And I think we can all agree on that, because no matter what you take, it's like as soon as you get out in the field, you start learning different things.
Right.
So when I started working with other clients, this is when things started to kick in for me, because people would come to me with similar issues, and I was like, oh, there's something going on here. There is definitely something going on here. So, and that's when I came up with a kind of like, I was trying something out for myself to see if it would work. And that's when I really started to focus on the foods that I knew that I had a problem with, and eliminating them. But also, instead of just eliminating them, instead of missing the nutrients, I was bringing nutrients in from other foods. So I wasn't going to, like suffer any health effects, right? Mm-hmm. So I did that, and lo and behold, the weight just came off. All my symptoms just started to go: the gas, bloating, diarrhea, mental fog. When you forget, you're always, oh, did I walk in here to get something? And you think it's just your kids and your life, and it's actually something to do with your health as well. Headaches, all that stuff just started to just go away. And then I thought, okay, well, we're going to test some foods out here, and we're going to see how I can tolerate them. And then right away, literally, when you go clean and then you test something that you can't have, your body just goes boom, and you're like, oh my God. So right away. And it was interesting, because like my skin, my hair, my nails, and all that other stuff just started to look a lot better. I didn't look, I wasn't bloated. I wasn't experiencing.
So what's the main thing you did? Was it just eliminating foods, or did you take probiotics or fiber, or was there something that really, like if someone's watching and they're like, oh, I have really bad digestive issues too, what is the first thing they should do?
Okay, well, if somebody has or notices that they have some of those symptoms, right away, what I would suggest is looking into finding the root problem. Because having weight gain, digestive issues, skin, hair, all that kind of thing could be numerous amounts of things, right? Like those are pretty common side effects for a lot of things. So I would say that you really need to look into the root problem. So a key is, if you are noticing that you're reacting to certain foods, I would suggest that you do not mask it up with taking a pill and going, oh, I'm going to take this pill so I can, have some dairy so I don't feel bloated. I would say, don't mask it. Just stop taking the pill, and stop taking whatever is making you sick.
Okay? Yeah.
And at that point, though, you would need to see somebody that's actually, knows a lot about nutrition. So a nutritionist or something like that can help you add some of those nutrients back into your diet, right? So like if you avoid milk, you're wanting to get some calcium from other sources. So you could add in some broccoli. That would be an example.
Yeah.
But, so that would be the step one. Would be to keep a journal as well to see how you're reacting. This morning I ate this at this time. How did you feel at the end of the day? That's really good. I always say to my clients, use the little happy face emojis. So underneath each meal, how you feel after it.
Oh yeah, I think a journal is important, because you forget, right? Even a little thing, like if someone has really bad digestion and they go through their day and they think, oh, I don't know why I'm bloated tonight or whatever. If they've written it down, they'd be like, oh right, I did have that. Like it could be milk products or anything. But do you take probiotics? Like how do you?
Yes, I do. I don't currently right now, but I do. So yeah, it's just like a one a day. And again, when you're having a dairy issue, you got to be careful, for example, that you don't take a probiotic that has dairy in there. Really important. Right. Like there's sources out there that are really good, and you want to make sure that you get a really quality brand as well.
Yeah.
So that's important.
I agree.
So, yeah, don't skimp on money for that. If something's $70, pay it.
Yeah. I mean, I worked in a natural health clinic for 8 years, and one of the biggest issues was digestion, like for sure. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it. Women would come in and so many issues, and I talked about it openly because it affects everything. What was that?
It's embarrassing,
Yeah.
right? It's like talking about your poop, and I'm like, I ask people,
But
like,
I mean, I think right now too, with the pandemic and everything that's happening, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety. People are stress eating, and then it's a vicious circle. It's not right because they're the stress causes a lot of problems with your digestive system too.
yes.
So yeah, I feel like if you've had a day that maybe you haven't eaten well, I always tell people that you need to forgive yourself when you go to bed. And I'll do this. I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have had that. I know, and I'm just gonna forgive myself. And tomorrow I'm gonna start fresh again and make healthy choices. I always have. I like to have lemon juice and apple cider vinegar in the morning. Do you do
Mm.
anything like that?
Yes. So not no more. Well, I like the hot lemon water. I love that. But further in the day, yeah, like maybe before dinner, I like to do that apple cider vinegar, a little bit of maple syrup in there as well. And sometimes a little bit of cayenne pepper just to, spice things up a bit and get
Yeah,
a taste.
we used to recommend to people when I worked at HealthWorks, because you're sleeping and so your body's in that fasting. The first thing you do when you get up, if you have squeeze half a lemon in water, just drink it. It's
Mhm.
really cleansing for your liver. Really helps. So yeah. And how would you recommend people that deal with stress, lower their stress?
Yeah, so that is a really big thing. So I've been going through a tremendous amount of stress, like I was saying to you earlier before we started. And the last 2 weeks have been like an absolutely whirlwind for me. And I know that, like my skin right now is broken out. And
Well, you look beautiful, so
so yeah, so stress affects your hormones as well as your digestion, and it is a vicious circle. And then it affects your weight, and then it affects your mind. And I'm not just saying like we use this word mindset, but your psyche. It's like we start to get really we get touchy, especially women. We get really snappy. We get tired, and people are, oh, it's PMS, and my spouse says that a lot too, and that's at the point where I'm kind of like, you better watch your words, Mister, right? But it's like it's not just PMS. It is a whole bunch of things that affect us. And as women, for women that are watching, we go through this phase every month where we go our highs and lows, our hormones dip, and we're more susceptible to getting sick during that time where we're going through those dips before the period and stuff. So those are the times that we need to take more self-care. We need to actually like sit back and do something for us instead of being the givers always, right? So I mean, there's a lot of men out there that are givers and givers and givers as well too, and that wears hard on you as well as everything that's going on in the world.
yeah,
So I noticed the biggest thing for me to do was take that time. So I take an hour, and every other day I go for a bike ride into the woods. I go as fast as I can. For me, sometimes I go slower, sometimes I go fast. If I feel like stopping and talking to somebody, I do. If I don't, I allow myself to just go by. And really just focusing on what I want in the future. So like for me, it's thinking about my book deal. It's envisioning my book going far, and it's just having that calm peace of mind feeling, where I can actually show up for myself in a spot where I feel comfortable, and where then it turns out to be I feel good and I show up better for everybody else.
yeah,
You take that time, and then also on the days that I don't do the biking, I do bar. So which is awesome, especially the ladies watching. If you really want to build your booty up and make it go, then bar classes is amazing. It's really really good.
yeah.
But it really helps. It just really helps relaxing. as well, and then taking time to meditate. I know that's not in everybody's book, but I mean, that meditation, yoga, those are all different types of things that I do that I enjoy. And but I would say the most important thing to say is to get people to take that 1 hour for themselves. So no matter what you're doing, where you're doing it, I mean, if you're a single parent, it's going to be a lot harder. So maybe when they go to bed, you take that hour and you do something for yourself. You say nice things to yourself when you look in the mirror, because we talk so bad to ourselves, and I am guilty. We talk so bad to ourselves, and it can really affect the way we act throughout the day. So if we're starting to look at ourselves in a brighter way, forgive ourselves and understand that, hey, we are human.
Yeah.
All I can go from here is up. And taking that time to, just love yourself. Go in the mirror and say, well, what do I like about me today, right? Today it might be in my eyes. Next week it might be my biceps. Just take that time to give self-love.
Yeah, we all have to love ourselves. And I think the most important thing we can all do is just be really aware of how we think, because that's where, in my opinion, that's everything. That's our whole life, because no one can get into our brains and tell us to think a certain thought. And
right.
So if it's once you're aware of how you think, then that creates how you feel, and how you feel creates how you act, right? And so I do think meditation is really important. I like to do meditation in the morning, just like even like 10-15 minutes of just quieting your mind, so that you can it just relieves the stress, and I think gets you on track for a better day. So
when you lower your stress, it also helps the digestion calm down. So so the thing is, our body gets inflamed from stress. It gets inflamed from hormone imbalance and from all this other stuff, like eating foods that we can't tolerate. The inflammation comes, and it shows up. It can be like really, really bad. It can go to digestive issues, to autoimmune disorders. So taking that time to really do that self-care, and that self-care involves also eating proper foods. Like, don't even go for the packaged products anymore, because they are not good. And the deli meats and stuff, now finally Canada has actually put that on the website. The Canadian government has put it on the website, after I've been like saying this to people for years. I'm like, they are not good for you. They are really bad for your health. They finally said that deli meats can be carcinogenic. And I like to kind of almost circle it and go, here, people, look at this, right? And I'm like, it's, like, wow, what are they allowing us to eat? And then also look at your food, get organic when you can. Look at the dozen. Look at the clean 15. So those are the things that, if somebody's interested in what they are, feel free to pop a comment below, but I will definitely get back to you on that. But those are so important, because the pesticides do affect our body as well. And that can wreak havoc on our nervous system. And that can leave us in a really poor place, that also causes stress. So we just keep going back in this vicious circle until we find the root problem. Once you find the root problem, you pull that out, your body goes back to being the way it should be. Kind of like, when you were born. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's true. So, and I always say, for people grocery shopping, shop around the outside, don't go down the aisles, because you want to go to all the vegetables, all the fruits. I mean, I really like the way of eating the paleo, like it's nothing processed. It's just real food. What would you feed your 9-month-old baby? You were not going to go open a package, right? So I think you really have to go back to what you want in nature, like what is good. And we should eat like that. We should eat real food, not packaged. I don't eat, like, rarely anything packaged. No. Especially after working at a health clinic for that long, I was so aware of it.
Right.
So how are you doing during the pandemic? How have you been managing in Fort McMurray? What's happening there? Are there a lot of cases right now?
I'm not quite sure. I think there were 15 a few, I think like a month ago. I don't know what it is now, but I go to the grocery store. I come home, I go out and do my things. I don't go into like many places other than to get food. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the only part I'm thinking that I'm really missing is the interaction with others. So
Yeah.
that can be difficult. Also, the big one most parents have known, spending all that time with your kids is really hard. So it's like, whoo. I actually ran into my son's teacher, and he's 4, right? And I ran into her teacher, and I was like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here trying to get him to circle how many cats are in the picture, and he's just not doing it. I'm like, so at that part, and then you're bugged every 15 minutes. I'm surprised he hasn't come out here yet and go, Mom. So I mean that, like, and it's not just being with them. It's just every family member, and I find that very frustrating for myself, because I am a person that recharges from being alone, right?
Oh.
So yeah, so I get drained from other people. So I've been aware of this as well, and it's also because I'm a physical empath. So I feel people's crap. I'm not sympathetic to go, oh my God, that happened to you, I'm sorry. But I am like, I feel it, and then my body starts to react in a certain way. And I don't know if it's something to do with me or if it's something to do with others. So that's why when I spend a lot of time with others, I need a lot of time on my own to just recharge and recoup and figure out, okay, is this me or is this feeling of somebody else? So that's been a big thing, but there's, because I don't get that, time to myself all the time because there's always somebody home.
Yeah, I know. I think we all have to adapt to that because I look at us as we're creatures of habit, humans, like we're in habit. So when the pandemic first hit, everything was changed and you have to create a new habit and then you start getting comfortable. I see my grandchildren a lot, and I mean, I've raised children, I have the grandchildren, and they're very busy, 6-year-old boy and a 10-month-old girl. And I am so into the busyness and the gratitude. If ever I feel stressed, I don't know if you do this. If it's crazy and busy, I just go right to gratitude. Like, I am so grateful for these little children, how busy they are. And I switch my mind from stress to gratitude. And you can do it in an instant.
Yes.
If you're feeling stressed and if you can actually be aware of, wow, this is stressing me out, the noise, you can be like, wait, I'm gonna be grateful for the noise. Your brain gets almost this little, I'm grateful. This noise, this craziness is amazing. So I've learned the power of gratitude.
Yeah. It's an aha moment that you get, right? Because you're like, yeah, I can really just switch right now without having to go through the whole downward phase. Because when we start to get angry and we start to dwell in it, and we can just go down and down and down instead of changing your mindset that second and choose to go, okay, this is their way of showing, their love or their appreciation or their energy. So yeah, and just see it for what it is versus trying to make it something that's worse than it should
exactly.
be.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we'll probably sign off. It's been awesome having you on. You're amazing. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and you can put in the comments if you have a website and people can reach out to you, or your podcast, whatever you want to pop in the comments and people can get a hold of you. And
yes, so the podcast is going to go up soon. I'm just trying to record a few before I get it up, and it's going to be called "Pineapple is the Safe Word."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, we're just going to throw in some fun things about, again, this is going to be about business. It's going to be about home life as we have it right now, getting healthier. Mindset is going to be a huge part in it. So, yeah, I'm excited about that for sure.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, well, keep going. You're doing awesome. And I know you can help a lot of people with getting them in charge of their own health. And yeah, if you can do it, and anyone can do it, right?
Anyone can do it. Anyone can change their life in a matter of seconds. You just have to take action. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Taylar.